Boomer shooter is the first thing that springs to mind while I've been replaying Compound. It's been around on PCVR and Quest for I think at least a few years, but it has had some updates since I last jumped in, and news of its re-release on PSVR2 with a rock solid 120Hz and adaptive triggers. I couldn't wait to jump back in and see if it still holds up. Now before I continue, if you do have a Meta Quest or PCVR, please consider this an updated review because the game is exactly the same now on all platforms. For those who don't know what Compound is, it's a VR roguelite, which I know will make some people's eyes roll, but trust me, this one is really addictive. Once you start playing, 2 or 3 hours goes by so fast because it's so easy to pick up and play, yet it can be quite a challenge, and it's got that magic one more go, for a number of reasons. As you can see, it looks stunningly beautiful to me. The low poly retro art style looks simplistic, but it's actually quite detailed, and when it's in games like Doom or Quake, games with this style of graphics, in VR for me is absolutely perfect. The environments are all destructible, and that's what keeps the game from looking still and stagnant. For example, when you get into a firefight in a room full of enemies, using the machine gun, you will see tons of stuff get broken as it explodes, paper flies up in the air, windows get smashed, and the way the NPCs react to being shotgunned up close is always awesome. They literally fly across the room, headfirst into windows and computer screens, for example. Now, one of the best bits about Compound today is the modifiers, which weren't available when the game first released. These are basically mods with a double-edged sword, meaning you get positives and negatives, but my favourite modifier right now is the Old Schooler modifier. It allows you to carry all 16 weapons in the game, you get increased movement speed, and you have slightly more health, but there are tons more enemies. Now don't get me wrong, the standard game is still very challenging, but I found the movement particularly slow and the action a little bit slow as well. But when you use this modifier, it plays like a perfect retro FPS VR shooter that I always enjoy in VR. Now even though this is on Quest, the adaptive triggers on PSVR2 are really welcoming. Feeling the trigger pull in this game is so satisfying, and the reloading mechanics are great on most weapons. Some are a little bit finicky and in the heat of battle can make you a little bit frustrated, but the more you play, the better you get at it. And the further you get each time you make a run, the more you learn to deal with the upcoming surprises like zombies who only seem to die from headshots, walking spider tanks, and much more. From memory, the game as an entire run, once you've perfected it that is and you don't die, is around 2 to 2.5 hours, and the end of level boss is absolutely excellent. In the starting area is like a kitchen where you can pick your difficulty level and mess around picking up things and eating snacks. There's also a minigun locked in the corner, which I think can only be unlocked by doing 100% of the game. So starting a gun on PSVR2 at first did make me groan a bit, but 3 hours later, I'm still pushing my way through the game. It's games like this that really make VR shine to me, and Compound definitely gets an easy buy recommendation. I really hope the developer isn't done with this title now either. Hopefully the re-release on PSVR2, and maybe people who've never seen it before on Quest and PCVR now decide to pick it up, that he actually keeps updating the game, because one thing I would absolutely love to try is co-op in this game. I think it would be absolutely superb. So there's my updated thoughts on Compound. Thank you for anyone who subscribes and leaves a like and comments, and I'll see you all on the next one.